The fuck? He's wearing green. I know I got my John Cena shirt on here. I normally put my review shirt on because a lot of people like the shirt for some reason. It's just a Deadpool shirt that says maximum effort. That's all it is. But this is the John Cena shirt. I got Fastlane. We're not here to talk about my WWE shirts or my love for WWE. We're here to review a movie. Movies I've been watching lately haven't been great. This one, however, is great. This is Delirium with Topher Grace and Patricia Clarkson. Also with Genesis Rodriguez, who is gorgeous, by the way. Oh my lord, she is hot. But Delirium. Topher Grace has been in a institute for about 20 years. They don't get into why he was there until a little bit later in the film, about the 45-minute mark. Patricia Clarkson is his patrol officer, I believe. Yeah. His patrol officer. He gets sent to his old house. He is on house arrest for 30 days. And after those 30 days, he can go home. Or he is home, but he can be free. You find out that he has some issues going on in his mind. I might as well tell you why he was sent there. Him and his brother, or actually his brother, taught this girl a lesson after she said no to Topher Grace when he was 13 years old. Rejected him for a date. And his brother says, well, you might as well just teach her a lesson. So he says, okay. They decided to scare her a little bit. They hired this Bridget, scare the shit out of the girl. Then she just starts calling him names, calling him immature. And his brother didn't like that. So he just keeps wailing on her, punching her in the face, and then eventually drowns her while Topher Grace, his younger self, is handcuffed, and he helps bury her. His brother gets sentenced to life in prison because he committed the murders, and Topher Grace gets sent to an institute. 20 years, he has to spend 30 days under house arrest, except he finds out that there might be some visitors in the house. Some terrifying visitors, some people in the walls. He finds some hidden places in the house. This is a great film. This is a psychological horror film. I kind of felt like The Shining a little bit. But this was awesome. Topher Grace is back. I haven't seen him in anything mainstream or big in a while. The last thing I saw him in was Opening Night. Opening Night is a great musical comedy. He is a stage manager for opening night for a Broadway show, and everything is going wrong during this opening night. Great film. Not as good as Opening Night, but really good. There are some jump scares, but they are not false jump scares. It's actually something you are supposed to be scared of. But it doesn't happen that many times throughout the movie. I'd say it probably happens, 3-4 times throughout the first 45 minutes. After that, it's all about his brother getting out of prison. He broke out of prison or something like that. That's not really what happened, but that's what they say, and I'm not going to spoil it. But he's there, and he needs some groceries. He needs some Fruity Pebbles, milk, and ice cream, and a few other junk junk food that he hasn't had in 20 years. So he calls this grocery store that delivers, and he meets this woman named Lynn, played by Genesis Rodriguez, who again, gorgeous, by the way. And they start a friendship and eventually start a relationship. This film is not very easy to describe without going into the big plot, which is going into the whole movie. But what I can tell you is his dad just killed himself 5 days before he got out of jail, and 5 days before, or 5 days after he got out of the institute, and 5 days before he moved into the house. He thinks that his father's death was his fault, when in actuality, it was just his dad being lonely because his mom left him and his brother when they were very young. So I would highly recommend this movie if you're in the mood for a psychological thriller horror film. I would definitely recommend this. If you're a Topher Grace fan, you get one of his great yells. I mean, he can yell like no other. But it might be because one of my favorite shows is That 70s Show, but anything that Topher Grace is in, I'm definitely going to watch. But I give Delirium an A-. I really enjoyed it. Hopefully I enjoy this one at least half as much, but I know that animation is claymation, but it is going to be great to see something from, what's this company called? Aardman. You know, from like the Shaun the Sheep films and shorts, and Wallace and Gromit Chicken Run. That's Early Man. It's an hour 18 without credits. 11 minutes of credits. I get why. This film takes a fuckload of time to get made. But stay tuned for that review, and I can't wait to get back into the movies that are hopefully still at least half as good as Delirium.